one of the things that we want to reassure you here is that everything is going as it should. We want to remind you of the state of affairs on your planet. We want to remind you that barely 6 months ago, hundreds of thousands of people were in the streets. Millions of people were supporting those hundreds of thousands of people in the streets, saying that we cannot go on the way we are going on, that we are destroying our beautiful planet, and that the rules must change. Now, what's happening is a form of transformation that is bewildering for many people. But what we want you to understand is the form, you must not be deceived by the form. As in true Buddhist teachings, you must not be deceived by the form, because the form is that which is designed to delude you. So just as you are living in the form of a body, and that confuses you and makes you think that you die and that you sicken and that you are many, many things that you are not as a spiritual being, so too does the form of this crisis tend to confuse and delude. So do not look at the form of this stopping everything. What we are seeing and what we want you to think about as you're going through this experience, not only the experience of the retreat being cancelled, which obviously you are all processing relatively well because of the non-negotiable nature of it. It's not as if Tina decided not to go, or that airfares were too much and she cancelled. This was beyond her control. What we want you to do personally is we want you to look at any upsets that are coming up regarding the cancellation of the retreat, whether it be money lost or scheduling inconvenience or disappointment. What we want you to understand is that this too is designed perfectly. All of you that signed up for this retreat, all of you that booked planes and hotels and were invited to this retreat, it was not meant to take place for you in this form at this time. It was designed to give you an experience. This halting of the plans was designed to give you an experience that each of you needed, that each of you would benefit from. So sometimes not getting what you want is exactly what you need. And this is the case for all of you right now. Whether it be a replaying of an old story, I never get what I want, or the replaying of an old story, I can't afford to lose that money, or I can't afford to take this time off at any other time. We want you to really go into this deeply, understanding that the upsets that you feel, or the disappointment that you feel, or the sadness that you feel is only your interpretation of what's happening. It's not caused by the event, but your interpretation of the event. And the global event that you are all going through is the same thing. Do not be deceived by the form, but pay attention to what it is asking of you. Is it asking of you things that you were not willing to do before? Taking time off from a busy working world. Now, for some beings who are caught in the workaday world with bills and mortgages and feeding children and these sorts of things, it's very easy to come back with an argument saying, well, I could never do that because I could never afford it. We want you to understand that that is a story. That is a story that we want you to address at this time. Our dear one has gone through that process of relinquishing a regular paycheck. She has gone through that process of not being able to purchase things that other people are purchasing because she's following her passion. She has gone through many of these sort of letting go of modern, the modern rule book, if you will, because this is what keeps modern Western people behind the eight ball, so to speak. This is what stops modern Western minds evolving to the degree that they can, it is this list of reasons why you cannot, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. So what we want you to do as you're looking at this transformative experience is to dive deeply into that which you would have done if you had been given $100,000 and didn't have to go to work anymore. What is it that you would have chosen to do? Would it be developing your own online course? Would it be writing a book? Would it be buying paints and beginning to study art? Would it be spending more time with loved ones? Whatever it is that you wish you could have done sooner, do it now and pay deep, deep attention to the feelings that are coming up. So, so our dear one here is having stories surface because she is unable to distract herself in the way that she distracts herself. She is no different than any of you. There are certain things that she's worked through. There are certain problems and beliefs and attachments and arguments and resentments that she has worked through. And there are others that have not yet surfaced because, as all of you do, she picks certain things to distract herself with. Those things are not available to her now. And so she is going through the same process of looking at some of her very, very old, deeply ingrained stories. And she smiles because she sees, oh, here it comes again. Here's this old story that I have about myself. And because of her training, because of her deep immersion in this work, she is willing to look at those things and dig down in those things and go, okay, what's really going on here? Why have I been avoiding this? Why have I been keeping myself so busy that I can't address this issue? This is what we want you all to do. We want you all to not try and distract yourselves from the old beliefs, the old stories, the old limiting ideas. But we don't want you to do that because this is a golden opportunity for your planet. And for all of you that are doing A Course in Miracles, for all of you that are deeply invested in transforming your minds and ascending as fast as possible, this is the gift that you have all created for yourselves. You have all co-created this circumstance. But it's the same circumstance in some ways as the overworked, overweight executive who ends up having a heart attack and winds up in hospital. The form, if you look at the form and tell a story about the form, you are going to have some negative emotions come up. But once the crisis has passed, often what you see with somebody in that kind of circumstance is that they realize that they have been wasting their time, that they have been valuing things that are valueless, and that they are seeing their mortality stare them in the face. And that's what's happening to a lot of people with this, the terror of this virus. And they realize that they have not been living the lives that they want. There's things they haven't done that they want to do. There's things that they value that they haven't been spending enough time with. So that is what we want you to do with this time. It is going to go on longer than most people would like, and that is good because most of you have been in a little state of shock for a couple of weeks. Some people have not really managed to find their footing, as you say. So there's nothing really much happened in the first couple of weeks of these events. Just processing the shock, trying to keep up on information, dealing with the logistics of who's going to be home and how to feed them. So what you're going to go through is a process of revelation. That means you are going to have revealed to you the things that you have not yet dealt with in your life. And we want you to open your arms and open your hearts and open your minds to looking at those things. Do not think, oh no, here comes that nasty feeling. Let me go run around the block. Don't do that. when you have that feeling come up, whatever it is that doesn't feel good, go and lay on your bed, open your arms, open your heart, and say, show me what it is you want me to see. I am willing and ready to see this. I want you to reveal to me that which I have not been courageous enough yet to look at. And if you do that, you will be shown. You will be shown in memories, you will be shown in dreams, you will be shown in people phoning you perhaps that you have a resentment with, or that you have difficulty with, or an old lover that you wish you'd seen it, you could see again, and there they are giving you a call, because everyone's trapped inside and everyone is getting these kinds of messages. What you all have as a benefit over most people is that you understand that your greatest power is hidden under your darkest fears. It is your fears that limit you. It is not reality that limits you. It's you hiding behind those fears, afraid to encounter them. So we really want you to use this time as a true retreat. Not keeping yourselves busy all the time, distracted all the time, projects all the time, which is the initial way that those of you who are trained in the West are going to want to deal with it. You're going to want to get things done that you haven't had time to do, you know, painting the fence, reorganizing the bedroom, whatever it is. Do those things initially to wean yourself off the programming. Just say to yourself, okay, I don't want to sit, I'm not calm, so I am going to do some of these projects, but we would like you to do those projects with presence. So if you're painting the kitchen, do it beautifully. If you're painting the kitchen, do it calmly. If you're painting the kitchen, make sure that you are doing it exactly the way you would like, but while you're wielding that brush, allow things to surface. If you're reorganizing your closets, allow the memory to arise that that pair of trousers reminds you of. Allow things to surface. Do not be manic about what you're doing. You can still be doing something productive and be present. And once you've done a project or two like that, then we would like you to settle down even more into a calm and present place. And that means journaling your feelings. That means reading some books that you would really like to read that you haven't had time to. But not reading in that voracious way, that gotta eat the whole book in one weekend way. Do it in a contemplative way. Read a chapter and then put the book down and sit back in your chair and feel into what you've just read. See what it brings up in you. So what we would like this time to be is a training program for a new frequency, a training program for a new speed of things, a training program for rearranging your value system permanently. We would like you to look at this as an opportunity to reevaluate what you've been spending your time on, how you've been avoiding things, what you've been avoiding. We'd like you to look at this as a complete time of recalibration, and then you will be using the time well. So one of the things that's happening to a lot of people initially is a sort of voracious hunger to find out what's going on and what the solution is. It doesn't really matter. What we want you to know is that if you use the time as we have described to go deep inside your own inner workings, the form of the occurrence loses its significance. Just as the person who comes out of the hospital after a heart attack and decides to quit their 80-hour-a-week job and perhaps go on a trip or do something that they've never done, they stop seeing the heart attack as the problem. They start seeing the heart attack as the key that opened the door to the rest of their life. And this is what will happen to all of you if you look at this experience correctly, coming at it from presence, allowing tears to come if they want to come, allowing frustration to come if it wants to come, but deeply listening to the images, the ideas, the feelings that are arising in you over this time. So we would like you to fully accept that it was meant to be this way. And everything is designed together for good. That means that the experience that each of you are having now is exactly what you needed to have. It is going to bring up exactly what you needed to see. It is going to resolve exactly what you needed to resolve. And you will feel it by the extremes. You'll feel it by the joy. Oh, here I have 2 weeks with a loved one that I didn't expect to have. This is amazing to be able to truly be free, not thinking, oh, it's Sunday night, I've got to go to work tomorrow, or I was going to be doing this and I'm not. You see this at this time, this absolutely free time, as a gift, because it is a gift. It's been given to Earth as a gift, and we really want you to use it that way. We want you to be in deep appreciation of the opportunities that you have to take the time to feel and go into your minds and hearts without any restrictions whatsoever. This has never happened to anybody before, where you are not limited by your schedules, where you are not limited by the obligations of socializing, where you are not limited by the bus schedule or the work schedule. This is a most auspicious time, and we really, really want you to grasp that. And so as we work with you energetically, we want you to understand that we are working with you energetically at this time. We would like all of you, morning and night, and in the middle of the day, if you're feeling a little bit off, to ask us to help you see what it is that you haven't yet seen. Ask us to show you in dreams or memories what it is that's limiting you. Call upon us to assist you in this ascension process, and we will be able to assist you in this ascension process. Some of you are doing that, some of you do that on a regular basis, but we'd like you to really bring presence to that request at this time, to really dig down deep in your heart and bring 100% commitment to your desire to see the truth. And that is what we will be able to do over this time, because you have no idea the transformation that is happening on this planet just by virtue of the fact that everybody has stopped moving, just by virtue of the fact that the planes aren't flying, just by virtue of the fact that the pollution is not belching out into your environment. The frequency of the planet is rebounding extremely quickly. And so we would like you to take advantage of that, regardless of where you are and what climate you are in. We would like you to get outside, because the planet itself, nature itself, is going to be the best springboard for you at this time, because of the recalibration that's happening from the restriction, the reduction of pollution and activity, and the worry and the fear. People driving to work, doing their ordinary jobs, you don't realize the effect that that has on the collective. Now, you've got fear-mongering going on in the collective still, but relatively speaking, it is a calm time for the world. And Gaia is taking advantage of this quiet time, just as we are asking you to take advantage of this quiet time. So make sure that you are telling a positive story about this time. Make sure that you are taking times throughout the day where you are not on media, where you are not on your devices, where you go and you lay on your bed for half an hour and do nothing. You don't sleep, you don't meditate, but you just lay there and feel what it is that you're feeling. Go into your body mind and ask yourself, what exactly am I feeling right now? Do I even know what I'm feeling right now? Because this is one of the things that the modern Western person often has difficulty with, is stopping long enough to even have an idea of how they're feeling. They're so reactive, they're so busy, they're so pressurized that they actually never stop and just lay on a bed for half an hour and do nothing. It's a very, very rare occurrence. So find that hammock, find that bed, go for a walk in nature. We know that we're repeating ourselves, but we really want to impress upon you that the outside right now is your best ally in terms of your ascension process. The light that is coming to your planet right now is increasing rapidly. And this is one of the reasons why this event has taken place. It's going to give a lot of people time to get outside when they would normally be in their car, in their office, doing their work. This is going to give a lot of people time to get outside and to get that recalibration from the galactic center that is ramping up. So you are in the, we will say you are in the birth canal. And for anybody who has been in labor, you know that that is what you say, an escalating experience. So prepare yourself for things to get a little worse before they get better. And we don't mean worse in the spiritual sense. We mean what you're seeing is going to appear to be worse. But envision yourselves as a light in the darkness, or standing peacefully in the eye of a hurricane. You are fine because you have the information that you need. And if you begin to lose the plot a little bit, pick up the Course in Miracles, pick up one of our dear ones' books and read them. Give your mind something to do. You must give your mind something to do. You can recite your Course in Miracles lessons, but sometimes when you are beginning to slip a little bit in frequency, it's hard to maintain the peaceful mind by yourself. Give your mind something to do if you find yourself feeling a little anxious or listening to stories, hearing what's happening. Remember, this is the birth of a new world. This is the birth of the frequency that you have all been praying for. And just as a woman who wants to have a baby thinks it's a very good idea at the beginning, as that baby's coming down the birth canal, every single one of them regrets it. Every single one of them wishes they hadn't made that decision. Every single one of them thinks, my goodness, what a pickle I've got myself in. If only I could turn back time. And many of you will have that feeling over the next weeks and months. So just understand the process and understand that your guides and teachers are with you, that you are loved, that you are being shepherded out of unconsciousness into an awakened state. And your world will be very, very different at the end of 2020 than it was at the beginning of 2020. But we do not want you to fear. We want you to be excited. We want you to be in eager anticipation of holding that new baby. So that is the process that we would like you to think about as you see the birthing pains that this planet is going to be going through and that your society is going to be going through. We are Ananda. We are your guides and teachers, and we are with you every day. We are with you every night. We are with you every minute. And we want you to understand that there are so many beings on this side of the veil that are helping to shepherd your planet through this amazing experience. And we want you to maintain your frequency. We want you to allow negative feelings to arise. That does not mean you're not maintaining your frequency. As long as you do the right thing with those negative feelings, as long as you look at them and allow them to pass through your body, mind, and pay attention to the stories that you've got attached that are causing the suffering. There is always a story that is going to be revealed if you allow those feelings to express themselves. It could be a fear of death. It could be a fear of being left behind. It could be a fear for your family. It could be a fear for your body. It could be a fear for your money or your security or your home. We want you to pay attention to what that fear is about and write it down and let that be your work for a few days. Oh, I'm afraid of being financially bereft. I'm afraid of not being with my children, or whatever it is. Work through that and know that you are one. You are all one. You are all divine aspects of God mind. And you must remember, this is a place of separation, and at times you are going to be away from those you love, and that is a reflection of your belief in separation. And if you have strong negative feelings about being separated from those you love, that is what that indicator is showing you, your belief in separation as the truth of this experience. So if you have an experience like that, for example, where you're afraid of being away from somebody for an extended period of time, connect with them in whatever way you can, whether it is in Skype or FaceTime or texting or a phone call, whatever it is, connect with those people. And when you aren't talking with them, do not tell the story of I'm separated. Tell the story of we are all connected. We are all one. We are all in this together. We've all decided to be here at this time. We've all been put in exactly the place that we need to be put to get the experience that we need to get. And remember, whatever you haven't dealt with is going to come up, and it's not going to go away. So deal with it. Do not procrastinate. Do not backpedal. Do not pussyfoot around the subject, but go diving deep into that which you have not yet dealt with. And that will be the greatest benefit that you can gain from this experience. So we are going to pass our dear one over to Jesus, and we will speak to you again soon. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we want to applaud all of you for coming to terms with that which has happened. Your planet is in a joyful state right now, and that's something that we'd really like you to feel into at this time. She is feeling a great sense of relief. Our dear one came up with an idea today, and it's very accurate. It's like that moment when the pain medication for your migraine headache kicks in and you feel yourself relax. The pain has stopped. That is how Gaia feels right now. She feels as if a migraine that she's had for a very, very long time has stopped. And so if you can begin to look at it that way and send your love and appreciation to the planet that has put up with human shenanigans for such a long, long time. She loves you very much, and she wants as many beings to evolve with her as possible. She has had the ability to evict you off this planet at any time, but she has not done that. And she is not going to do that. You have become, we will say, like favorite pets. Those of you that have cats and dogs, you know that if you moved, you would take those creatures with you. And that is how Gaia feels right now. She loves humanity very much, but she has become tired of the disrespect. She has become tired of the abuse. And just as somebody who's in a bad marriage at some point decides that they have had enough of that, well, she has had enough of that. And we want you to take that without fear. She is not angry. She is not embittered. She is not wounded in that sense. She's a powerful creator in her own right, as are all planetary bodies in the sky. They are conscious beings, and they have a destiny just as you have a destiny. And we would like you to see this as part of your galactic destiny. You are bringing into being ideas that many have wanted to experience for a very, very long time. The prayers that go up from your planet are loud and vociferous and many. And you are powerful creators. You are powerful beings. And the last couple of thousand years have been full of trials and tribulations. If you look back, you can see many wars, you can see many plagues, you can see many pandemics, you can see many crises of the ego playing out its game. Now, your planet is not going to be out of the dualistic system, but just as you can be extremely loving in your separated experience, you can be extremely happy in your separated experience, you can be following your passion in your separated experience, or you can be extremely negative, you can be depressed, you can be suicidal in your separated experience. Just because you are evolving does not mean you are going to leave duality. You are still going to have the separation experience, but it is going to be a much more pleasant one. But the journey from where you are to where that experience comes is a rocky road. It is like climbing a mountain, and you can be at the bottom of the mountain and look up to the top of the mountain and think, well, I really want to go up there, but I need all this gear, and I need to take food, and I need to have good boots, and I'm going to need to rest along the way. That is how we would like to look at this next period of time on your planet, because the momentum, the sheer momentum of the ego's madness on this planet has to be slowed down. And for any heavy object, such as a big ship or a fast-moving train, you cannot change direction when you are going at top speed. It is impossible. You will simply crash. You will wipe out, so to speak. So what's happening is the momentum of the ego's gain here on Earth is being slowed down, but it is not over. So you are going to see the ego desperately trying to regain control, desperately trying to make this form what it wants to be. So as you go through these next few months, you are going to see that. Remember this as you go through these next few months. You are going to see those that are involved in the system, those that are seeking to maintain power in the way that they have had historically. They are not going to go down without a fight, so to speak. So we want you to be aware of that. We want you to understand that a 2-year-old having a temper tantrum because they can't have the lollipop they want, you've all tried to communicate with the child in that state of being. It's not very easy, and they aren't listening. So we would like you to understand that this is what you are going to be witnessing over the next little while. It's like a temper tantrum for organizers that are losing their grip on power. So in actual fact, it will look over the next little while like they are gaining power because they are fighting for their what they believe is theirs. So this is how we would like you to observe whatever you see in the news. We don't want you to react the way the news is priming you to react. The news is priming people to react in a certain way to lower their frequency because that gives them a foothold. So we want you to be very, very wise over these coming months so that you are aware of your frequency going down. Whatever you're doing, thinking, saying, speaking, believing, when your frequency goes down, we would like you to stop as quickly as possible, because that is really the everything that each of you can do. And there are many beings around the world that are going to be getting this information from many, many different channels, from many, many different sources. What your job is to do now is to hold the frequency of love, to hold the frequency of peace, knowing that that is the transformative element that is going to support this planet in her evolutionary journey. That is what she needs. She doesn't need you plummeting down into fear or worry. She needs you to maintain, to the best of your ability, your understanding of the laws of creation, which is the more of you that are at peace, the more of you that are able to express and embody love at this time. You are the foot soldiers of the new earth. You are the foot soldiers of that new loving society. You are the ones that are saying, I know how I want to feel in the future. I want to feel like this. And regardless of what's going on around me, I am going to hold that frequency so that others can match it. There is this experience of matching when you tune a tuning fork to a particular note and you hold another tuning fork near it, they will match each other. And you are like that. You are like tuning forks. So you hold that high loving note and those around you will tune into that frequency. So for those of you that are in families that are not involved in this teaching, for those of you that are around people who are plummeting into fear, you do not need to use words. Use your frequency. Understand that you are the tuning fork holding that high, beautiful note of love. And that is what will bring the new earth into being. It is millions upon millions of people doing that. And there are enough of you on this planet now to do that. There are enough beings who have been working on their forgiveness practice, not just studying A Course in Miracles, but through all of the different traditions, whether it be Buddhism, Taoism, shamanism, paganism, it doesn't matter. There are millions upon millions upon millions of people who are seeing this as the greatest opportunity ever to raise the frequency of this planet, not because you're dominant over her, but because you are supporting her, you are matching her. So we really want you to get that and to grasp the magnitude of what is happening. There are opportunities arising through this process because of the quietness, because of the potential for peace. There are energetic and communication opportunities that are going to become more open to all of you, and specifically to your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. So this is the other thing that we would like you to understand, is that the communication with your extraterrestrial brothers and sisters is just on the other side of where you are. So if you have interest in doing that, if you have always been curious about making conscious contact with non-physical beings or telepathic high-frequency extraterrestrials, now is the time. The static of your planet has been turned down. And you know how unpleasant it is when you get in your car and the radio is not tuned to the right station, and you turn the car on and the volume's up high. You reach as quickly as you can to turn it off. It's very uncomfortable. And that is what it has been like for many non-physical beings and high-frequency extraterrestrials. There's this high, loud static on this planet that is quiet now. That is quiet now. So go into meditation. We would say you should be meditating twice a day, even if it's only for 15 minutes morning and night. Find that time, prioritize, demonstrate through your behavior what you value, demonstrate through your behavior that which you want more of. Do not remain unconscious. Even though you're all doing A Course in Miracles, even though you are students, it is very easy in times of stress to revert to comfort foods, to revert to using old methods to soothe the anxiety. Now is the time to implement the discipline that you've learned, to implement the lessons that you've been studying so hard. Now is the time to use these all of the advice that you have been receiving over the last few years from us and Ananda and the extraterrestrials that are channeling through this being. Now is the time. The time for procrastination is over. The time for half-heartedness is over. Now is the time to dedicate yourself 100% to your spiritual practice. This does not mean that you're not going to get the chores done and the things done that need to be done, but you can, while you're mowing the lawn, focus your mind. You can, while you're doing the dishes, pray for a loving society. You can, while you are reading your children their nighttime stories, be so present with them and giving so much love to them that you are transforming everything minute by minute. And that is what we would encourage you to do at this time. So we are very, very pleased that all of you have come together today, tonight, this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are in the world. We are very, very pleased that you have committed not only money, but time and dedication to your spiritual practice. You are bringing into being a new earth. You are making a difference. We want to assure you of that, even though you may be living alone, even though you may be upset at times through these next weeks and months, we would like you to understand that whenever you choose love instead of fear, you change everything. You change the entire world. The reflection and ripple that comes from you is powerful and transformative. Do not forget that through these times. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we look forward to having another meeting like this in a couple of months. We wish you well, and as the previous transmission stated, call upon me at any time. Anytime you feel afraid, ask me to show you why you are choosing fear. I cannot take fear from you because it is your creation. I can only show you what you are misbelieving that is causing your fear. So make sure you ask for the right thing if you feel anxiety or fear. Ask to be shown where your values are incorrect, where your beliefs are incorrect. Then I can help you, but I cannot take it away from you, because when you make fear, it is yours, and the Holy Son of God cannot be interfered with. You have free will. You must choose love yourself. You must step away from fear yourself. Remember that. We all love you very much here, and we will speak to you again soon.